There's a tornado in my coffee.
Ari Koffee na.
Huh? Let me finish it.
Okay.
We'll do it on camera.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
It's my first time.
There's also like a mushroom or a penis head. I'm not sure which one it is, but we'll see.
Depends on how thirsty you are, Christine.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Kandid Coffee. I'm here with Arax and I.
Hi.
We are in Burbank at her salon called
Glamourax.
There you go, Glamourax. And
We finish each other's
sentences. So yeah, I'm so excited to be here at your salon and finally get a chance to meet you. I feel like we're
friends.
We're friends, we are.
We're like the people in the Instagram memes about the people you never met that virtually just support each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
when I
us.
see a good selfie, I'm like, yes.
Thank you. Yes. And I'm throwing it right back at you because
You post good memes.
Thank you.
Post really good memes on your story. You don't care.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, I try to be diplomatic, but sometimes I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's see what happens.
I love it.
Yeah.
I look for it. Get ready. I'm like,
You're so cute.
it's sort of mink.
Okay, so we have a few friends in common who are stylists. Anna, Glam Hair by Anna, she works in Van Nuys, and then Liana. And then we just know a few people, and everyone I've ever talked to has said, oh my God, Arax does the care packages, they call it.
Yeah.
The care packages for people who need specific treatments and whatever their hair care needs are, you cater to that in the best way possible for long-term care and getting their hair at a healthier level.
It's true.
So tell me how that came up, because I mean, anyone can just open a salon and kind of try to run it, but you're doing it on another level.
Yeah, so all those people you mentioned are better stylists than I am.
Yes.
I'm very good at the service. I'm really good at understanding what you want. And I found myself in the middle a lot of times where I would hear a customer tell somebody what they wanted, and I would feel like this discomfort if the stylist misunderstood it.
Yes.
Or if they weren't on the same page. I'm like, do you know what she means?
Yeah.
You know, and like
you have to say something.
And so
Yeah.
I think that opened my eyes to like, okay, my strength is just kind of seeing what people need, and a lot of that is customized. And
Yes.
so when we were shut down because of COVID, my concerns weren't, because I was a new salon, you know, there's salons with like 200 employees and stuff that they have to lay off and figure out. So I was new, I hadn't even opened yet.
Right.
My only concern was, how am I gonna take care of my employees and how am I gonna take care of my clients? And for my clients, it was, what can you do at home? And if the alternative is CVS, then your hair is not gonna be in the condition I left it in when you come back.
Right.
I think that if your intentions are in the right place, which for me it was to help the people that I care about, which I can't see them because I am the immunocompromised people they talk about on TV. And so it started with actually one of my friends, Tallinn, that you interviewed, my breastie. She was like, I'm kind of digging the short hair, but she wants it longer, you know, she's ready to long, and she was like, what should I do? So I went into research mode because I didn't want to just give her anything. I wanted to find what's best for her, what's going to help her hair grow. I wanted real results and like, you know, stuff that I would trust. And then I was like, but what else do you use? Because if you use really good shampoo and you use like really bad other things, like it all matters, you know?
Right.
So then,
counter effects.
So that's kind of how it started. I put a few things together and I was like, okay, but what's the difference between me doing this and somebody at Sephora giving her a bag of stuff?
Yes.
Oh, it's because you don't know how to use it. You don't know what to pick, how to use it, what order to see real results, right?
Right.
Because you can have a really great like spice cabinet or like pantry, but if you don't have good recipes.
Right, exactly.
So then I made her like insert, that took off, and then it became more about root color because there was a lot of essential workers that we had that like couldn't like not do their roots.
Right.
But they couldn't go to salons.
Right.
So I just whatever their formulas were, even if they weren't my clients, they would just send me a picture of their hair.
Yes.
I'd color match it, send it to them with instructions, and it was like hundreds of them.
Wow.
It just started off as like 12.
And it was,
I was like,
good success rate with them doing it at home.
I had 100% success rate.
Wow.
I think it's really
Incredible,
good.
yeah.
Some people didn't like some shampoos, but I think
that's just trial and error.
Yeah, and I think like maybe like the best lotion for somebody might not work for you, you know? So that kind of margin of error, I'm okay with.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm okay with it. Yeah. So like from the few times I've talked to you, even though we haven't, I have a few notes. You know, I know the hair is red. I know it's vivid. I know it's heat style, whatever. And so my eye is out for like, what can I, if I see something that might be
It'll
good for
remind me
yeah.
of me, so remind you of me.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of evolving into more of like a personal shopper concierge experience, which I think is kind of lacking in the professional hair world, because there's really cute stuff at Target, beautiful packaging, the ingredients aren't that great. There's really good stuff at your mom's hair salon that you go to and you're kind of like, I don't know. Because the packaging sucks. So, so I'm trying to be like a middleman to guide people in how to like best take care of their own hair based on like what results they want to get. And yeah, it's part of like my New Year's resolution too. I was working on like presentation, because I feel like, you know, if we present our walls nice, you paint your house nice, you present your car nice, and then we'll neglect ourselves. And it's so natural as women to like neglect yourself, you know?
Of course.
And or like me to like overcompensate with like personality because you don't put yourself together. But I realize when people do feel well presented, they do feel more powerful.
Of course, absolutely.
And when people feel powerful, they do good things that benefit everybody. You're a better mom, you're a better employee. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like it came. No, it's not. It's a very good story, and it makes sense, especially now. Like I've had a lot of people tell me, like Rich, we just interviewed him, and you're saying the same thing. Because of COVID, people are switching things around, and it's kind of like having a good domino effect. Yeah. And they're saying, okay, how can I make this situation into this bad situation into something better?
100%. And that's nothing new to our community. Right. Haida, you know? Yes. We had this crazy earthquake. And then it was like, all right, what can we do? How do we recuperate? Yes. Or remember when like, I think not the dollar amount, but like ruble or whatever, like whenever like stuff like that's been happening. The ones that went to Iran, weird stuff happened there. We came here and like our parents came to a country that they knew nothing about with hopes of a better life. Like it's just basic biology that we learned in high school, where if you adapt, you evolve better. Yes. And if adapting during COVID means helping yourself and others, like,
of course, what better way could you want?
For it,
man. Absolutely.
It's perspective, you know. Absolutely. And honestly, after cancer, COVID ain't shit.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. Exactly.
It's cool. I could do this.
Yeah.
So it's funny because I've had the salon for a little over a year. When my mother-in-law owned this place for 23 years. Wow. And she and I worked together for 7 years. Ever since I got my license, she took me under her wing, and she does everything by the book, by the law, the cleanest, just most concise, immaculate worker. I went to other salons on the west side here and there, and it was just, I didn't see anybody that works like her. She's not fancy, whatever, just clean, you know? Yeah. And when I finished my treatments for breast cancer, she was like pretty much here kind of alone. And she was like, I'm done. I want to sell it. Retire. And I was like, really? Because I'm kind of done with everything I'm doing. I want to buy it. Yeah. And she's like, I buy, you know? Yeah. So she gave it to me. And that was a little over a year ago. So we shut down, we remodeled. I had one more surgery. I did the surgery. We opened up for a few days. COVID. So we shut down. Wow. So we shut down and we had to reevaluate the whole business. And that's when the boxes started. And then we opened up, we shut down again. And this time, when we reevaluated, it was more of a merger. So like products and services. Because now we're open, and because of all the research I did, I feel like I put my 10,000 hours into that kind of research. I have a much better understanding to educate my employees, my team, my staff, and just I'm choosing better brands, better stuff. Anyway, so it all worked out. It worked out really well for me. Yeah. I don't have any complaints, but I usually don't.
Absolutely.
So that's it. So this is so now we're just looking forward to starting again.
Arax, it's been no secret that you've turned a very unfortunate and very unexpected turn of events in your life with your health into something extremely positive. Not even knowing you, I heard about you and I was like, it's so amazing that she's sharing her story openly, especially as an Armenian. Sometimes people are scared to talk about it or ashamed, or they don't know how people will react. And you were just like ripping off the band-aids, you know, and just talking about everything. And it's great. And I love people like that because it educates and it makes people just open their eyes.
Because I didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
I'm healthy, no family history. I mean, normal stress, who's not stressed, but I'm seriously one of the most optimistic. I'm not even one of those like tarach mlechatz people that you're like, no wonder something happened. You know?
Yeah.
So, but when I got diagnosed, most of the people I reached out to, or some of the people were like, I got a wig, my makeup was done every day, nobody knew.
Wow.
And the thing is, I mean, okay, so then I had to break it down.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, so which part of this? Is it the hair?
Yeah.
Is it the hair that bothers me? Because I know a lot of beautiful girls that they chose to be bald.
Yes.
You know, Sinead O'Connor, there's a lot of models. I could, you know, if I pull it together, I could pull it off. So I was like, okay, so hair is not, it doesn't bother me. I'm really not scared of, I don't want to say it because then my mother-in-law's gonna say tu and stuff, but like I'm not scared of dying.
Right.
You know, I'm more scared of like not living.
Right.
So we're doing fine there. So I think it was just the fear of uncertainty, and then once I broke it down a little bit, most of the people that I spoke to didn't really want anybody to know what they went through.
Really?
Yeah, and I would get like, you should talk to this person, you should text this person, and this person, and this person. There was like this little hidden network of like breast cancer survivors that kind of secretly help each other out. But I was kind of like, what are we hiding from?
Yeah.
You didn't do anything wrong. Nobody's, you know.
Right.
Like it's okay, especially when it's a really well-funded one.
Yes.
There's a lot more cures.
Yes.
They're working on a vaccine for breast cancer. It's got a lot more research.
Yes.
And
it's the most popular one, I think.
And the amount of people you can help. Every time I talk about it, I just think if one person gets a mammogram, we're good.
Of course.
I'm good, because had I not followed up, it would have been worse. But I did follow up, and then it was taken care of, and it was not as scary as I thought it would be. And that's really just anxiety in a nutshell, is you talk yourself into thinking that a much scarier outcome is waiting for you, when sometimes it's just not that bad. It's certainly nothing you can't not handle, especially after 2 pregnancies. You're just kind of like, okay, another year of, you know, weird body, going through some stuff. Okay. And
how long after you had your second son
was I diagnosed?
Yeah.
My son was like 2. Yeah, so about like 2 years. His birthday was in June. We went to France in July, my husband and I. He is a wedding photographer, and I did hair and makeup. We flew to France and we did a bridal party, like a beautiful wedding there. We came back. August was my 32nd birthday, and then I just went to my doctor for like a follow-up.
Right.
And then he was like, oh, you know, I feel some asymmetry. And I was like, you know, I breastfed 2 kids, I've gained weight, I've lost weight. I don't know. Maybe that's just kind of how
they're gonna look.
I just thought that's how they are now.
Yeah.
Nobody in my family's ever gotten sick, you know? Like,
right.
I don't know. I would never think bad. I was like, it's probably old breast milk. He was like, cool, just get an ultrasound. And I was like, okay. He's like, but tomorrow. Okay. And I was like, oh, there's a little urgency here.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I went, they did the ultrasound. They're like, no, we need a mammogram. Mammogram, and the doctor did a biopsy with like a broken finger. She wouldn't even let me come back the next day. That's how scared she was. It was pretty obvious something was
going on.
Yeah, and then a few days later, that doctor, she called me personally, because she's supposed to send the paperwork to my primary physician, but that would have been over the weekend. Roman was doing like a pre-wedding shoot, and like, yeah, she called me and she was like, hey, you know, I know we were thinking it was either breast milk or breast cancer, but it's the latter. I was like, shit, really? She was like, yeah. I'm like, man, like how bad? And she was like, well, it looks like stage 3B. I don't know what stage 3B is, but it sounds like almost stage 4. And from my knowledge, it's like baseball and there's only 4, so I'm not trying to home.
Yeah.
So
try not to get a home run here.
Yeah, that's not the kind of home run you want. So I was like, okay, well, thank you for the information. And I kind of just was scared for a little while. But, you know, even prior to that, I've been really into meditation. And you know how they're all about, let yourself feel what you're feeling. So I was like, all right, cool, just meer rope wachten. So I was like, cool, I was scared.
Let it sink in.
Yeah,
for
I was
a
at my
minute.
mom's house. I went downstairs to my mom. I hugged her and I was like, Mom, it's like, what? And she realized, okay, that was the phone call. And she was like, can I talk in Armenian or should I translate? Okay, she was like, she speaks very formally, very cute. She was like, ոչինչ դու ստրես մարդիկ կան, որ փողոց անցնելուց մի հատ ավտոբուս ա խփում, ոչ կարողանում են դեղ խմեն, ոչ կարողանում են բարեկամների հետ խոսան, you know, like, and this woman, like, our family's been through a lot, you know?
She's processing it very well.
And she always looks cute, and she always shows up, and she's always like, cool, let's take care of it first. We'll process it later, you know?
Yeah.
And
let's do what's necessary right now.
Yeah, and she was like, you need to make sure, you know, get your insurance settled, get your treatment settled, find all the right doctors. And my brother's wife, her dad went through this. She found me the best doctors, got me appointments.
Teamwork.
Yeah, and then, you know, it was just, first it was scary, and then it was like, all right, so it's possible though, like I went to like a few consultations and they were very scary. I went to the last one that my heart took me to. And he was like, I don't know what you're so worried about. Your husband's very handsome, which he is. I told you.
Right. And this is true.
Yeah. And he was like, I don't know what you're so worried about. You're going to be 80, 90, you're going to have grandkids. I don't know, you're going to have a tough year. I'm like, I could do a tough year.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was it. That's all I needed. That's cool. You know, like it's like when you go to the gym, you know, you're gonna stop running soon.
Yes.
Just get your miles in, you know? So I was like, okay, it really relaxed me and I just wanted to like just be a good sport.
Yes.
You know, I was like, if this is my training
if this
camp,
is what I have to
if
go
I'm their
through,
athlete, I want to be the Serena Williams of this. I want to show up, I want to be the best, I want to have a good attitude, I want to help them help me. And
Absolutely.
like, I had 6 rounds of chemotherapy. It's awful.
Yeah.
It's like a really bad hangover.
Yeah.
But like your body hurts too, and you feel really weak. Just in case anybody wants to know what it feels like, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And then, but 3 sessions in, I went to get an ultrasound and I was clean. So like, I didn't do any weird diets or home remedies or, I'm not against anything.
Did they
because
remove anything?
First I had to do chemo because mine was so big. I was almost 6 centimeters, my tumor. And then I had another one that was 3 centimeters almost. And
all on one side?
Yeah, and even though it wasn't as big as the other one, it was a lot more aggressive.
Okay.
So one was huge, one was aggressive, and it was in my lymph nodes.
Okay.
So that's why it was almost stage, you know, so that's why it was almost really bad.
Yes.
But, you know when you're pregnant and you feel the baby move?
Yes.
When you're getting, this is a really weird thing, I haven't talked about it much, but when you're getting chemotherapy and your tumors are shrinking, it feels like you feel it. And
really?
Yeah, and since I had decided to be brave, I wanted to stick it through, so I wanted to break that down too. And so that was even more reinforcing for me. We're like, okay, love.
It's working.
It's working. Yeah, it's working.
Yeah,
you know, like, I've never, that's my hair in that picture. I've always had long, dark, thick hair. I never colored my hair, never messed around with it. So now I was like, let me have fun. I got a pink wig, I got a blonde wig, I got, you know, I had some fun. And I have a really good family, you know, and I was like crying to my husband. I was like, how are the kids gonna feel? Yeah. He was like, how about black women? They have wigs, they go bald, their kids see look at a culture that like totally, it's completely normal to have like different hair colors and stuff. It's what you normalize to your children. Yes. He goes, and you walking around like looking sad and sick and
it's
stuff.
It's gonna be worse.
That's gonna be way worse for your kids than like you being bald.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so so I don't know, kind of little by little, kind of like dominoes, like little fears go away. Like, okay, la vete, that's not too big of a deal. Even like the way you feel physically, cool. It's just like any other medicine, makes you feel kind of shitty, and then and then you feel a little bit better. And then I finished that. I had surgery, I had double mastectomy.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I had a double mastectomy, but like internally,
rebuild?
so everything looks the same from the outside, but inside is ripped out.
And then they put
and
implants.
then the next surgery, well, I had to wait before that because I had to do also like about 30 rounds of radiation on the chest. And I don't know, I feel like they're doing like a deep cleaning, you know, where like first you declutter, and then you like spray some stuff, and that's the chemo, right? It's the chemicals, and then you hold those UV lights just to make sure you sterilize. I don't know, that's kind of what I'm picturing, that they cleaned it up and then they took it out and then they made sure they sterilize it so it doesn't come back. But
where they look great.
Thanks, yeah, because you know, I nursed 2 children. They were not,
They were kind of sad.
I told you my bad joke.
What is it? What is it?
That my breast and I wanted to get a divorce for a long time, but we stayed together for the kids. And then once that was over with, it was like, I've earned it. And then also, you seen that meme of like the girls that pretend they have a deviated septum to get their nose? Well, I don't have a nose. So I had to have another condition to get another type of plastic surgery. Mine was a little more chronic, you know.
Yeah, heavy.
Yeah, cancer for new titties. That's what I did. It's fine.
Yeah.
Milking it.
Yes.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. Okay. Oh, I love it. Okay, that's so cool because you know who I actually was really open about it, and I remember her, Juliana Rancic from E! News. She was really open about what she did.
And did you ever feel sorry for her?
No.
Like the people I kind of felt sorry for were the people that felt like they needed to hide it.
Hide
and that
it,
applies
yes.
to everything.
Yes.
You know, I feel sorry for the person who didn't feel like they could come out.
Yes.
You know, I don't feel sorry for somebody that's, you know, like that for anything. Like I think that
I feel sorry that they feel like they have to keep it.
But let's give
secret.
society the benefit of a doubt. You found out about it. Did you like look at me like
Nothing. I thought you were amazing.
Oh, okay.
You are amazing. Not are.
And I didn't do anything amazing. I showed up at my appointments. I sat there. They put it in. I went home. I didn't do anything amazing. You know what I mean? I would just.
But your attitude changed the trajectory of how well you're healing.
Because we live in Los Angeles, California, I have access to Cedars-Sinai Hospital in Cherry. The physical is taken care of. I have to take care of mental. You know, and I wanted to be like the people I admire. I like the athletes I admire, like the writers, the comedians. I got really into comedy. Like I know you mentioned George Carlin. Like Roman's a big fan of George Carlin. I read his stuff. I listened to his stand-up. We listened to a lot of stand-up because I felt like in comedy it's one of the only places where if you're not honest, people attack you.
Yes.
You know, and everywhere else you kind of gotta hold back a little bit. So I found a lot of comfort
in comedy.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
Yeah. You know, I've had a pretty easy life, and the sweet's not as sweet without the sour.
Yeah.
So it really made me appreciate things, and I was kind of grateful for the opportunity to step up and not just like think I'm a brave, courageous girl, but be like, no, I'm cool. Like I survived cancer.
There's a tornado in my coffee.
Huh?
Let me finish it.
Okay.
We'll do it on camera.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
It's my first time.
There's also like a mushroom or a penis head. I'm not sure which one it is, but we'll see.
Depends on how thirsty you are, Christine. Have you always found it so easy to find common ground with people that you never met before?
Yes. Ever since I was little, I always really gravitated towards just random people. Like we would go on vacations to Laguna, and I would be sitting by the pool just talking to like an 85-year-old woman.
Were you ever shamed for it? Like, why are you talking to people?
They would my parents would watch me to see who I'm talking to because they're just, alert.
But they were cool.
But they were cool, because they were like, oh, I don't know, I was talking about hair, or I was talking about cookies, or I was talking about whatever.
Yeah. Same with my parents, and there was no...
I was so social.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't encourage their kids to be that type of social, and then they'll be like,
because they're scared.
And then the kid doesn't go, and he's like, all right, this is your first, you never even bodybuild, you know?
Yes, exactly.
And like social psychologists, they say like, it's like knives, like we sharpen each other.
Yes.
And so you sharpened your social skills, and then it turned into like, a career for you. That's so cool.
Absolutely. I missed that human genuine human connection.
It's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still, I mean, we made
Even
it.
before,
we
yes.
made it you know what? It's
Yes.
so there.
Yeah.
It's just, I have nothing bad to say about social media. I'm all for it, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
In Chopov, it's really good. It
like
could be really
everything
good
else.
for you.
Yeah, if you like martinis, doesn't mean you should be having 36 a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, mini choppy mitch, you know what I mean? Obviously, it's a vice.
Yeah, of course it is.
But it's a good one, and it's done a lot of good things.
It has.
We're getting a lot of news in Armenia that we weren't before, because I know you're not watching Armenian TV at home.
No, I'm not. Oh, I try to avoid those. My mom watches them. Mom, if you're watching this, just know that the acting is terrible.
Me and you will catch up later. It's
You're watching her?
No.
Okay. Okay, I had to take a little bit of a bitter route, only because I was so curious. We both found out the other day that when we were talking that we were pregnant around the same time. We have kids almost exactly the same age. Mine are 7 and 4. Yours are 6 and 3.
Mine are 4 and 6.5. He'll be 7 in December. So
okay,
they're pretty much the same. 4 and 7. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I thought it was 6 and 3 for some reason.
2 girls.
2 girls. 2 boys.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm pretty open with my kids about like explaining things to them as much as they can handle up here.
And you gauge their feedback as to what they can handle and what was maybe a little
too much.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how, if I was put in that situation that you were, I don't know. First of all, if I got sick,
question.
I would say, okay, love, I got sick, lava yesem erekheschi, first of all.
First and foremost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my mother would say, vai koranam yeselne.
Yeah.
Right?
We don't have to do all that.
Yeah.
We're so bad with all the things we say.
I know, right? And we're so like
we're traumatized. I think we have PTSD as a society, you know, from genocide to this to that. Yeah. We're a little traumatized, and it's okay.
And it's always like vai koranam yes about everything.
Yeah. I bet Swedish people don't do that.
Yeah.
They're like, you'll be fine, hon.
Yeah. Pull yourself together.
We have good medicine.
Exactly. How was that conversation? Did you have a conversation with your kids?
Okay, and I think that's a really good question. And I think that anything that is so difficult that it makes you feel this way physically, imagine what it's doing mentally. And why would you figure it out when smarter people than me have already figured it out and there's answers. So if I did anything correctly through cancer, and that's something I want to apply to other areas of my life, is that I relied on experts. So I made an appointment with a therapist, and I think it was at City of Hope, and I was like, I haven't shaved my head yet, none of that, but I have kids. And she was like, let me tell you a common scenario that helps with children. That's it, bro. That's all I needed. I could improv from there, Miki Chayat and Miki Chess. But why would I need to sit all the stress that I was going to get trying to figure it out and pick the right words and then double guess myself? Did I or did I not? These people have studies. They tried it. And then they got feedback from those people. Then they tried it on more people and they got feedback from those people. And they tried a few different methods, and this one's still the best.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna push that aside and say I don't give myself that type of expertise in anything. I really like to
do your research.
Yeah.
See what other ways you could do it.
I remember in high school when they would say check your sources, make sure they're credible sources and everything.
Yeah.
So I asked the hospital, and they said a common thing that we say is we tell the kids, mom got sick, there's a little something in her chest, there's a medicine that helps, but when it takes care of that, it makes my hair fall out. So I'm gonna look a little weird for a while.
Pretty simple.
And me and my kids, we joke a lot, so this isn't new, you know. I'm not all of a sudden trying to be the cool mom. Yeah. You know, I try to maintain open conversation prior to that. Yeah. And then Hike, who's turning 7 in December, he was like, "You're gonna be like Dad?" I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be like Dad for a little bit. And he was like, "Yeah, okay." And then when he'd be mad at me, he'd be like, "Where's your stupid hair gonna grow back?" And I'd be like, well, not that attitude. It's not. Yeah. But now, I don't know. It's crazy. Now, as my hair approaches my shoulders, it's for someone who's always had hair down here, never even thought about it. It was always in what my mom called a kakagund on the top of my head. Every inch is a celebration of health
Yes.
For me, my kids, I feel like I got a little growth chart.
Yeah, little like marks. Yeah.
Yeah. So so that was the talk I had with my son, and it seemed to do well.
Yeah.
I didn't have as much success with my younger son, and if I'm being perfectly candid, yeah, he didn't take it very well, and I wish that it happened maybe a little bit later, so that I could have such a clear channel of communication like I did with Hike, and I could, instill that same level of comfort, maybe with a little sprinkle of humor like I did with the other one, because that worked. But with this one, all I could do was like hug him a little bit, talk a little bit. He regressed after that.
Okay.
And he was just traumatized because a lot of times he would be dropped off at my mom's house, for days, sometimes weeks, because I couldn't even pick him up. I couldn't pick him up until last March, until this March that passed.
Oh.
Yeah, and I told you I got diagnosed 2 years ago from around today.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and we're very attached. So even today coming here, like the separation anxiety is a lot.
Yeah.
But just like with anything else, like I'm just trying to talk to as many experts as I can and try to get as much advice as I can and read as many books, listen to as many credible podcasts and stuff as I can, and piece it together and just try to be the best advocate for him.
Yeah.
And
maybe sit down and put him on your lap. Your husband can put him on your lap, like.
That's all. Oh, now we're good. We're inseparable. At that time, we did things like that. But and he seemed like he was fine. He seemed like he was fine, but he's quiet. And I'm. He
was keeping it inside.
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah.
And honestly, I know it's hard, especially because you're a mom, so you're gonna feel that way, and you're very empathetic. But like, kids are so resilient. And there's kids like Kobe Bryant's babies not getting her dad back.
Yeah, exactly.
Rafi's getting his mom back.
Yeah.
So, it's just, we went through a little stuff, and as he gets older, as he can understand more, I have a never-ending amount of love and comfort I'll pour into him, and see where it takes us. You know what I mean? But
of course. He was young to process a lot of that stuff.
He was young, and I'd be like, I have to go, and he wouldn't let me leave, so I had to sneak out, and then you turn around, mom's not there, you freak out.
Yeah.
So I
go through that with my little one.
Yeah, and it's hard, because then you read the books, and white people always tell you not to do that. They're always Spencer, honey, mom's going to chemotherapy, she will be right back. Yeah. And Spencer's like, all right, mom. Yeah. But Rafi was not. Yeah. And so that was honestly, I think, after war, there's all these casualties and cleanup and stuff. So that sucked. But this is why I'm telling you that COVID was just not a big deal for me. Look at what I just went through with my family. Look what I had to just try to explain to my children. Yes. After that, what do I have to explain to them? You got to put a mask on if we go to Walmart? It's okay. Yeah. We don't go to Walmart. Roman's going to be so offended, I said.
You go to Target.
Because that's Zibilal. Yeah. And the homeless.
Oh, I feel like the criteria for Walmart has to be really right here. Yeah. It has to be there. I go to the Burbank Walmart, I'm like, where the hell are these people coming from?
Yeah, really good white t-shirts though, I'm not gonna lie, $2.60.
I got a turtleneck for $11 bucks.
It's not bad. But now as a small business, Walmart has products that we, let's say we buy a product for $35 and we can sell it for $50 because that's its retail price. Somehow it's on Walmart's website for $20, less than wholesale, less than, I don't know, so now.
Check the website.
Yeah, I feel like all these years where I've been hearing Walmart kills small businesses. Now I'm like, yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
But I took this salon owner seminar over the weekend, and they were like, if you have an Amazon Prime membership, and you're not going to a craftsman to have your table made, don't get mad at people for getting their shampoo at Target. We're all just trying to be convenient and survive.
Right, of course, especially now.
That's true.
Yeah, it is true. Okay, I want you to read my cup, and and right after you read it, we're gonna wrap it up a little bit.
You're in for a treat. I'm a professional.
Huh?
Yeah, this is.
Had I known,
my first time ever
I would have come to you sooner. What should I do? Should I just kind of let it drip?
I think so.
Okay, that's what you said. Okay, I feel like it's good.
It is good.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna record this. No editing about what she's saying, and don't hold back. How's my love life? Is it non-existent?
You want to know about your love life? You want to know about your love life? We're going there?
We're going there.
So the first animal I see is a camel, which is famous for which day?
Hump.
Hump day. So maybe Wednesday. TerOvsepyan. Next week, you are in absolute luck.
Nice. I see that camel. I totally saw it there.
Yeah. And you notice not much focus on the toe. More on the hump.
Yes,
so it's
that's
not
a big hump.
Yeah, this
Humps.
is not camel toe imagery.
No.
Roman told me not to make jokes like this because it's girl funny and it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I never done this before.
I thought
This
you
is
were an
weird that
expert.
you guys do this, that you guys just look at coffee grains and hopes for future. Oh!
What?
A superhero.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so a superhero, that's like Spider-Man, and so you're gonna have like, I think the next guy is not gonna be like your last guy who was never spontaneous enough, if we're being honest, right? Remember? But this guy is gonna be so spontaneous, he's gonna give you like Spider-Man kisses, upside down and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, I
and
fixed
humps.
it. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah,
Nice.
thank you.
Thank you. Last question for you. I think you mentioned, and a lot of people know that because not that you were going out and looking for people like, hey, did you have cancer? I'll give you advice. Did you have cancer? I'll give you advice.
I almost was.
No.
I would tell people if like when they'd be like, oh, so and so got diagnosed, I'd like make sure she gets my number.
Yeah.
Don't be pushy, because when people would be like, Zang gets it.
Yeah. And
I'm
then
like, no, bro, I don't
yeah.
want to talk to your uncle that had testicular cancer 6 years ago.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
so I didn't want to be pushy like that. But I would try to go out of my way just to make sure people knew that avenue is open.
For you to
also,
give, yeah.
I know what my strengths in help are. Like if you call me and say, hey, what are some supplemental IV treatments that you recommend, or what are some diet changes that we should do, and where do you recommend we go for research on the internet? I mean, like, I don't know, bro. But if somebody calls me, I don't know, but like, you know, Tallene, like we called her MVP breast tape because like she did all these research. She's like, so this new medicine they're gonna have us take, have you guys Googled it? I'm like, no, I'm sure the doctor Googled it.
Yeah.
A lot, because he's gonna lose his license if he didn't.
If he doesn't, yeah.
You know what I mean? It might be dead by then. Well, then we'll help more people. But so I didn't focus on that part, but I noticed since I put so much emphasis on the trying to reduce suffering as much as possible and trying to look for opportunities of joy as much as possible.
Yes.
And then a few years in hindsight, looking back and seeing that I think that helped me heal. Yeah, it makes me want to pay that forward.
Yes,
and
yes.
I never want to be pushy about it, but I try to make sure people know they can reach out to me.
Of course.
You know, and
Of
like
course.
you too. Like you guys, like my Instagram is Araxjon, my phone number is there, my email is araxjon@gmail.com.
Yeah.
I've had it since I was 14. But it's a very scary process, and the amount of relief I felt when one person who I trusted told me it's actually gonna be okay.
That doctor.
If I could give 5% of that relief,
yes,
like I know that will help them with the rest of their week.
of course,
You know?
of course.
Yeah,
it's that fear of unknown, and you're not reassuring them that by BSing them and being like, oh, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
You're really saying,
Yes.
I factually and medically, I'm telling you, the chances are pretty good that you're gonna be fine.
Yes.
Yeah, and that feels really good.
Yes, and then afterwards you're healed, right? And then there's this whole new channel of fear. It's the fear of reoccurrence. And so even for that, like I don't like to let fear grow. I just nip it in the butt. You know, I'm not like that responsible with everything in my life.
Yeah.
I was like that with debt.
Yeah.
But I don't like to let because fear doesn't it grows in multiple directions.
Yes. Keeps you up at night.
Yeah, so I like to ask about it. Hey, this is what I'm scared of now.
Yes.
And they'd be like, oh, okay, well, so after you've received all these treatments, because remember, your third chemo in, you were fine. You continued to have treatments because those also reduce rates of likelihood of it coming back. I'm also on medication, and I will be for many years to come, because so really your chances of it are just like anybody else's. And from there on out, when they would say things like, it's up to you how much anxiety you're gonna have, one sort of like, I don't want to be monto, you know, like the part that's on me, I want to make sure I step up.
Yeah, of course, because Arten, you did everything medically. Now it's time to do everything up here.
And you know, when people come back from like the military, or like somebody's been a Navy SEAL, that training never leaves you. You know, muscle memory is not just with bicep curls. It's with everything. So you took something traumatizing and found something good about it, learned how to get over it, and then you realize not everything's a tsunami, some things are just big waves. Then you know, like, cool, this is hurting a lot because I'm at the peak of it. We're about to, my dad, when I'd go bike riding with him, my dad goes bike riding on these mountains like every day almost, and he and my mom, they go hiking here like almost every day.
Nice.
He doesn't drive a car, he mostly rides his bike. That's like his, his jam. And when we'd go bike riding and I would complain, he'd be like, like it's downhill after this. And he was always lying, and I was too stupid to realize we're going up a mountain. Of course, it's not gonna be downhill until we turn around, but I was also gullible, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But if you can apply that to real life.
Yes, because you know, thanks for bringing that back. Yeah, because you know, like just right after the climax, it's gonna be downhill, you know? And write it out, and you want to look back and be proud of how you handled yourself. Of course. And had I done this privately, I wouldn't have done it with as much poise. I would have had private meltdowns. I would have looked bad. But if I wanted to go on Instagram Live and be like, hey, if you've lost your eyebrows, this is how I recommend you fill them in. I'd have to, you know, step up and realize, hey, like, I'm not a lawyer or a doctor, but I went to beauty school and I can help these people that are going through what I'm going through, but they don't know how to put it together, you know? And so I think that since I'm a people pleaser and I'm an oversharer, I try to
combine the two.
Yeah, and channel that into good, because the accountability made me want to be a good sport. If I'm the only one that's going to look at myself, I'm just going to be like, will I be happy today?
Exactly. So it worked definitely for you to do that.
Yeah. So I guess it was a little selfish too.
It's okay, but it's selfless also because of all the people you...
It would have been easier to do it privately.
Yeah?
Yeah, but
that's not your personality.
No. Yeah. And it's not going to be over, and I just think of it as a new area that I can connect with people on, because honestly, that's just what it's about. It's just moments and connections. I think that's what life is about. Absolutely. You're just as not religious as I am. And that was a very difficult thing for me, you know, because lots of people prayed for me, lots of people had candles for me, lots of people, you know, like I went to church to see if I would feel that serenity I was looking for.
That's nice if they do.
And I didn't, you know, and I've been very religious in the past. I've read the Bible in Armenian and English, and I've studied it very thoroughly, and I used to, and then it's sweet. Like, I used to also believe in Santa Claus. It was very sweet. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, okay, like, I love and respect it for all that hope it gave me when it did. Right. I kind of got to take off the training wheels, because this is just it.
Yes,
it's just life, you know, existence is pain.
Exactly.
And if those are your expectations, then anytime it's anything but pain, it's a celebration. You know?
Absolutely. You're so cute.
Thanks,
You're adorable. Okay, long-term goals. Arax John, what are we doing? What do you want besides this? Raising your kids, being with your husband, being cancer-free, being a positive influence.
Cool. So everything that I've benefited from has been like from people who thought about the greater good and not just about themselves. And whenever I started really liking reading Yelp reviews, I started leaving a lot of Yelp reviews because I felt bad taking it at 9, not until and so the same way, like, I want to give back to my people in Armenia, for everybody that fought for me to have the opportunity to like be able to speak Armenian, raise my kids Armenian, and you know, do so freely. I want to, if we're talking really big goals, I would love to help my country. I'd love to live there and here.
Maybe open up a salon.
Salons, schools, you know, education. I want to my family and I want to help kids with disadvantages, disabilities. My brothers they just started an organization in Armenia, and I have a nephew with like special needs, and in his honor, they're opening up a camp over there.
How nice.
Sorry, it's very emotional. It's one of the, like they helped somebody get hearing aids, and like they sent us a video of this kid, this little boy, like hearing for the first time.
Oh my God.
This is something I watched my brother do, you know? And like my brother was the typical brother that everybody had in the 90s that was always in trouble. And then you see them, you know, now he has a trucking company, he supports like 100 families and he does something like that. And now he's making an organization where kids with disabilities in Armenia, they're going to get training, they're going to have jobs, and they're going to have like businesses that they can work for. And then from here, donations and stuff like thrift store donations will be sent there to like thing it. We've watched our parents help everybody we know and a lot of people we didn't know our entire lives.
Yes, same.
And they never made us feel like you don't have enough to share. And they made us feel that way when we didn't have a lot to share. They made us feel that way when we had a lot to share.
Yes.
And the more you read about self-help books on how to be an amazing person, the more you see that these things were they just instilled it in us.
Yes.
That's why people are so shocked that we're so hospitable. That's just the norm.
Yes.
I mean, I know it took us a really long time to get your coffee today.
It's okay.
But I mean, you know, like we're like that as a people, and I think
it's just in us.
I think once we all see like what our strengths and our values are, like we're gonna soar, and we're all evolving at such a fast rate. That's why when we want to go somewhere, go to Hajchaka, and then we go somewhere, go to Hajchaka, and we hear an Armenian voice, we're so excited.
Yes.
And like, you know, we go back and forth between like we can't stand ourselves, and then you see a last name on the TV and you're like, it's one of us.
Yes, exactly.
And I think we're just evolving at such a fast rate, but I'm so hopeful.
Yes, you are very hopeful.
I
very
think
positive.
I think people are amazing. They're just going through weird times, you know?
Yes.
There's been times where you weren't this amazing.
This is true.
You know, and
you don't even know that much about me, but this is absolutely true.
But this is very amazing. Yeah. So you had to, you know, work your way here. If you were kind of shitty now, I'd be like, I bet you were amazing at some point.
Yes, exactly.
But you know, some people are just not at that stage of their growth, and if we judged everybody by the worst thing they ever did, we wouldn't like anybody, you know? And like,
absolutely,
we're all just like, there's so many reasons not to like each other, but who's going to be left?
Exactly.
You know, and when I went through something terrible, thousands of people reached out to me. People I didn't know, like you.
Yeah.
Were like, hey, I think it's cool what you're doing. And I was like, you do?
Yeah.
You know?
And it feels so good.
You don't
when
know
they
where
say
I was when you wrote that.
Yeah.
You know, I was throwing up into a bucket. I wasn't feeling good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every ounce of joy that I got, I want to give back 100-fold.
Yeah, absolutely.
Daily.
Yeah.
If possible.
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry.
It feels so good. No, don't say sorry. I get choked up all the time, and I knew we would.
Because it's real.
It's real, and you relate to it, and like, life is just crazy. And like when I hear stuff like that, and people are so reassuring, any small. Some people just write to me and say, I don't know who you are, but thank you so much for posting this or that or the other. Yeah. And it really made me smile because I'm going through some stuff. Even though they don't tell me what that stuff is, I'm happy that they're just reaching out. And if I did it without even being a hero, I'm sure you got that in spades.
No, not a lot. But no, you got a lot because you did it for me too. And the thing is, like, what we're going through, we're all going through tunnels of difficulty. And when we give each other a little bit of a good vibe, as the youngins say, it makes it a little more frictionless.
Yes.
You know, I mean, just a little, it's just, because everybody's going through difficult things. Nobody has an easy life.
Yes.
Nobody. Everybody we look at on Instagram whose life looks perfect is going through such difficult things. And some of the people who have the most difficult, ugliest battles have the most beautiful layouts because they're seeking beauty, they're creating beauty.
Yes.
And instead of knocking those people down, we have to appreciate the little, you know, the little bit of beauty that they're bringing to us, and not have expectations of you know, a beauty blogger to uphold your political values or, you know, like.
No, you're absolutely right. I loved our conversation. I love where the mental space you have been in and that you are in. And
Thank you.
I hope that you continue to be cancer free for as long as you live. And I hope you live a very long time, especially that you're a mom.
Yeah. And if that's too much to ask for, I'm just down to like be able to get through it again. Honestly, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
We're good. Like I don't even I don't have any expectations or anything in life. We're good.
Yes.
I made it today to be able to talk to you. That was a moment, a memory that's created and eternalized and everything. Like,
it's gonna be on the internet forever.
Yeah,
it's so sweet.
One person's gonna get a mammogram for it. We're good.
Yes, absolutely,
you know?
absolutely.
And
Cheers
you did
to that. Thank you. We did that together.
Days away from Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes. Arax, thank you so much for inviting me to your salon. I want to say thank you to Bella's Delight for these delicious cookies that went great with our coffee. And
They're the best cookies I've ever had.
They
Bella.
are. They
delightful.
are delicious. Yes, they are delightful. Thank you for joining us on Kandid Coffee, and I will have a follow-up interview with you in the future to see how things are going when things are blossoming more. And
we're both gonna have long hair by then.
We are. Can we do it or no?
I think we got a hair flip in.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. Until next time.